So I'm going to record this on the off chance that this actually works. So what I want to do is take all these about 1/8 inch thick pieces of ash and bend them to get them to this shape. And then what I end up doing, what I want to do is cut this and this. This is going to be a leg for a standing mirror. So I'm going to try and see if this actually works. What I've done is bought a Wagner wallpaper stripper that uses steam, and I'm going to just take what would otherwise be the steamer and take that hose and put it into a big plastic bag basically, and I'm going to use that to steam this wood. I'm also going to elastic these together with popsicle sticks, spacers between them, so that the steam gets to all the wood, or at least almost all the wood. And so the plastic bag that I'm going to use, I bought a bag sealer and a big roll of 12-inch wide bag making material in a roll, and I'm going to use this, seal it up, make a little hole for the hose, and I'm going to see how that works. So I'm going to make a hole just big enough for the hose. I'm going to tape it up, cut a little hole in the other end so that steam has a little bit of means to escape, and then I'm going to see if it works. So here goes. So backstory, when I made this original one, I just glued them as quick as I could and then put them in this little form that I have here, and just bent them. But the problem is I got cracking, so some cracks happened here and here a little bit at the end, and I could hear some cracks also in the center as well. So I think I can, because this is an experimental project, I plan on just painting it, so any defects I can fill with wood filler and just chalk it up as a learning experience. But I just wanted to do this as a way of figuring out how to bend wood and how to do it for this particular project. So in the meantime, I have kind of stickered these together to keep them separated, and with 3 elastics, and spaced it with popsicle sticks. So the next step is going to be to put this in the bag and start steaming it. And then once it's completed steaming, I'm going to put it in my form. I'm going to bend it up and then let it cool down and see if it stays at least partially bent. There is a bit of a spring back that occurs, but at least when I glue it, I'll have a lot less to contend with when I put it back in this form. It'll just have to bend it a little bit more just to get it to the shape that I want. So I've got the stickered series of wood in the bag, and I bought what they call an impulse sealer from Amazon, and it basically is just going to seal the other end of the bag, and it just clicks when it's done. And so now I have this in a sealed bag. I got this idea from a fellow on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name, but he used it for boat building pieces. He actually had like massive 2x lumber, and he was bending that with a massive bag. So you can probably buy wider bags, and of course the length of the bag is only limited by the length of the roll. So I think this, given the right scale, you can probably do this for many different applications. So the next thing I'll do is get the steamer ready and start to steam this thing. Alright, so I've got my Wagner wallpaper stripper, model 0283132, just in case you're wondering and interested. And so it's got a hose on it, and I've got that into the corner of my bag. And I cut a little tiny hole on the other end. And the plan is to just steam this whole thing, and this thing apparently can run for 70 minutes on one tank full. So I'm gonna see how that works, and if I feel like it's flowing too fast, I might close this hole a little more, or too slow, I cut it open a little farther with my trusty scissors. So I'm gonna plug it in, and I'll keep you updated in a moment. So it took about 15 minutes, but we're starting to get some steam coming out of this thing here. Maybe a little more moisture than I'd like, but I guess I'll take it. Maybe I'll try something different next time with maybe a little bit longer bag or something. But yeah, so some of the wood here at the end might get a little bit wet by the looks of it, but yeah, we'll see. It looks like it's heating up really nicely though, so apparently it will run for 70 minutes, and it seems to be a perfect stream of air coming out of this little corner that I cut out. It's like maybe the diameter of a pencil, the hole that I've got here, so that should be good. And yeah, I'm just gonna let it go for the full 70 minutes, and then cut it open, get some gloves on because it'll be stinking hot, throw it in my form, and we'll proceed to bend it in the form in the next segment. So yeah, I've decided to flip it. Oh, that's hot. I decided to flip it this way so that the sticks actually are holding the piece up a little bit, and I think that the steam will flow a little better through the pieces this way. Making sure that this hole here is at the top. And I think it's starting to sputter a little less now that it's started to go, and the way they have it oriented seems to be a little bit less sputtering directly on the wood, so that's a good thing. So this thing is going really well. I got a beautiful bubble going on here, so I know that the pressure is right. Yeah, it seems to be working. I'm really not sure how long I should be running this thing. I'm trying to see, I got gloves now, I got smart. But now I'm trying to sort of test the wood to see if it's any more bendable than it was before, and if I go by the ends it seems to be, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just hopeful thinking. But I think what I'll do is run it the full 70 minutes, and yeah, if anything it'll be too easy to put in the form. At least that's what I hope. So yeah, I'm really happy with what it seems to be doing, and yeah, this thing is bubbling along nicely, and yeah, so we're just going to keep on going, and I'll just show you in the next segment where we're at. Hopefully I can show you the extraction of this. So basically it's just a matter of cutting the end open, or maybe cutting the whole tube open, and then separating and unstickering the laminates, and then I'm gonna just stack them, make sure they're nice and straight, put them in the form, and so my form over here is something that I had made before, and so basically this piece slides in as I pull it with 3 great big bar clamps that I've got. So I just kind of alternate between the middle one and the two side ones to make sure that this thing travels straight in and gets a good seal on my wood. So here's hoping. So as I'm going along, I've decided I'm going to kind of flip it as much as I can on 3 of the sides at least, because this hole that releases the steam has to be on top, or at least on the side, not the bottom. So right now I have the pieces upright, but I've been basically flipping it like this so that it's flat this way, and then I flip it again, and so it's upright again, and I lay it flat on its other side. Just have a feeling it'll be more even, but I may be just paranoid or just being too obtuse. Anyways, I'm going to carry on, and I've already noticed that, like, if I push on the ends of the boards here, they're definitely way more pliable than they used to be, and I've been kind of timing it. Right now I'm at 42 minutes left, but I kind of have a feeling that I'm there already, but I think I might run it a little longer just to be sure, because I've never done this before. Like I said earlier, I'd rather have it be too wet, too pliable than the other way around, and regretting taking it out too soon and being impatient. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on and see how it goes. So I noticed a little bit of pooling at the bottom of the bag, and I wasn't sure if that was a big deal or not. So what I did was I cut a second hole in the bottom corner, and I'm draining that into a garbage can. And so in the meantime, that makes it a little bit less of a bubble because there's more holes. So I just put like a clamp on the top hole, and then so the steam can escape out of the bottom hole, and then it maintains its bubbly structure. Alright, so I've made an executive decision. This stuff is so bendable now. It's like almost like half-cooked spaghetti now or something. So I'm just going to go ahead and unplug this thing, and I'm going to cut open the bag and start putting it in the form. We'll see how this goes. I think I got to be super careful with cutting it and not burning myself, because this steam is something else, man. Alright. Alright, so apparently the elastics don't like the heat too much either. Well, that was just a coincidence. So it looks like I can just take these popsicle sticks right out from between, which is kind of cool. Woo! Alright. I think that is all the popsicle sticks. So I've got it situated nicely. Some of the shorter pieces are going to go on the inside of the arch. So I'm going to put this in the form. I hope you guys can see this. Alright. is ready. All right. Make sure they're lined up as much as possible. I missed that. Okay. A little bit of fine tuning. Oh boy. Wow, that's amazing. How pliable this is. I'm already cracking. That's fast. There we go. All right. I see it now, yeah. So I've got all the pieces in the, let's turn it this way a little bit. So I've got all the pieces in the, it's not right yet. I feel like Adam Savage. So I've got all the pieces in the form now, and I think I only see one crack in one piece, but that was one of the ones that managed to, I guess I didn't make it quite thin enough, but it looks like the other one's bent really nice. So it looks like a success. And when it comes to gluing, I'll have way more time to be able to coat the pieces properly, because there won't be this panic to get it all set properly before basically once I get all the pieces with the glue applied, I can just kind of slap it into the form and I'll almost be at this final shape, or at least close to it, when it comes to clamping it. So I think it'll be much easier when I actually do the gluing. So yeah, I guess that will be in another segment that I do later, where I actually take these pieces out of the form, see how much spring back happens, and then we'll glue it up. Yeah, so it looks like the thing has been formed up real nice, and definitely went a lot easier than the straight gluing. But the one thing that I didn't think about was the steam and the effect. And so what happened was some of the steam escaped, and it looks like there's some bubbling going on my wood workbench, which I guess I'll just have to let it dry up and sand down later on. And here's a bunch here too, but yeah, overall it was a pretty good experience. And so yeah, that's the finished product here. And so I will have to see what the difference is once I glue that second arch compared to my original, and we'll see how it goes.